I stepped away from the bleeding Yu Zhonguk and spoke to Bihyung. Is this your doing? Even if Yu Zhonguk was nearby, he couldn't be found in such a timely manner. It was clear that Bihyung made a sub-scenario to bring Yu Zhonguk over here. Are you suspecting me? Is there evidence? There was no evidence, but I felt it in my heart. The constellation, demon-like Judge of Fire, is concerned with your judgment. 500 coins have been sponsored. I felt a strong belief. Hansing whispered to me as I looked down at Yu Zhonguk with a dumb expression. We found him. What are you going to do now? What else? Shouldn't you save him? This jerk, he is the protagonist. Of course I had to save him. However, if I saved this bastard, I would surely die. Hansing looked scared that Yu Zhonguk would wake up straight away. Do you have anything that will restrain him? Yu Zhonguk won't tolerate them. Lock him up, then he'll commit suicide. If he goes back, damn, what will happen if he regresses? Hansing belatedly came to this realization. What would happen to this world if Yu Zhonguk went back? Is one of the biggest challenges living in this world. We have to stop it. Nobody knows what will happen. It was right to assume the worst when things were unknown. If I made a mistake and the world was reset, my existence would disappear. By the way, how did this jerk end up like this? I looked closely at him. There was a wound around the belly. All internal organs and ribs were broken. It looked like someone incredibly powerful had hit him in one blow. At this moment, I stared blankly at my fist. Perhaps... What's with that expression? Why is your face suddenly dark? It's nothing. All of a sudden, I was convinced. He was hit with a fist filled with 100 strength. Then he had been like this for 2 days. I felt sorry with the benefit of hindsight. With this, it might not be possible to restore my relationship with Yu Zhonguk. As I slowly looked from his belly to his face, I took a few steps back because I got goosebumps. Shit. Yu Zhonguk was staring at me with bloody and teary eyes. His lips was moving and he was obviously saying something like, "Dead Kim Dokja." I thought Hansung was besides me, but she had run away as quickly as possible. I shouted towards Yu Zhonguk from a distance. Hey, can't you release your anger? Wasn't it a fair fight? Did you try to kill me as well? Yu Zhonguk's eyes didn't change. Damn it. I had no choice. Yu Zhonguk had to survive here, even if he killed me. I might be able to stop the disaster of questions without Yu Zhonguk, but I wouldn't be able to prevent the other disasters, and the world would be destroyed. Why was the protagonist of Ways of Survival such a person? The story would have been easier if there was Lee Hyung-sung or Jung Hee-won. This wasn't the time for complaints. I decided to use a skill. It was obvious what he was thinking, but I still needed to check. Exclusive skill, Omniscient Reader's Viewpoint Stage 2 has been activated. At this moment, something amazing happened. Kim Dokja. My eyes widened as I watched Yu Zhonguk. Did he just call out to me? You can hear my words, isn't that right? If I look back at what you've done so far... What? Say that you can hear me. If you don't move now, the world will... I looked at him in a slightly confused state. It's my mistake. Damn it. Yu Zhonguk's eyes slowly closed. I hesitated for a moment before approaching Yu Zhonguk. He didn't seem to have the power to fight me at all at this state. Besides, I didn't see any animosity towards me. Yu Zhonguk, can you hear me? Yu Zhonguk struggled to raise his eyelids, only to close them again. It was strange. No matter how badly wounded he was, he would have automatically triggered recovery when he was hit. Then why was he still in this state? Exclusive skill, character list is activated. There's too much information about this person. Character list is converted to summary list. Character list. Name, Yu Zhonguk. Private attribute, regressive third turn. Myth, pro gamer, rare. Supreme king, hero. Exclusive skill, Sage's Eyes level 8. Hand-to-hand combat level 9. Advanced weapons training level 8. Mental barrier level 6. 100 steps godly fist level 6. Red Phoenix Shumpo level 6. Omitted. Stigma, regression level 3. Transmission level 3. Overall stats, physique level 60, strength level 60, agility level 60, magic power level 60. Currently in an abnormal condition. Currently, this person is affected by the 1,000 spirits poison. There was no problem with his stats. Yu Zhonguk was still one of the strongest incarnations in Soul, and his skills had grown compared to the last time I saw him. The problem was his abnormal status. Yu Zhonguk didn't have the skills 1,000 poisons resistance, or immunity to 10,000 poisons yet. Therefore, poison was currently one of Yu Zhonguk's few weaknesses. He was like this because he was poisoned. I looked closer and saw there were blue blood vessels all over his body. It hadn't been long since he was poisoned. Fortunately, he was still alive. But it was strange. I only knew of one person who could infect Yu Zhonguk with 1,000 spirits poison at this time. A woman watching me in the distance asked, "Hugh, are you Kim Dokja-shi?" I nodded and looked at the woman who brought Yu Jong-uk here. He was like this the whole time. He kept asking me to take him to Kim Dokja. Yu Jong-uk? I looked down at Yu Jong-uk's face, which was more blue-tinged than before, and instantly had many thoughts. The terrified Han Soo-young, who'd been fleeing, came back. Hey, what's going on? Han Soo-young poked my shoulder, but I didn't answer. I struggled for a moment before speaking to Bi-hyung. Bi-hyung, open the dokubi bag. Now do you understand? This wasn't my doing. Open the bag. After confirming my remaining coins, I found a coin item that could cure Yu Jong-uk. He was affected by the 1,000 spirits poison, so it couldn't be removed simply by eating the Elaine forest essence. I quickly turned on the text and checked some of the ingredients before purchasing items from the dokubi bag. You have purchased 1 midday tryst. You have purchased 1 old barber branch. You have purchased 2 put-nut Dalton horns. You have purchased 1 detox potato. You have purchased 2 Eintern Temple's purification water. You have purchased 1 Elaine's forest essence. A total of 7,370 coins are consumed. It was an unexpected bleeding service. I asked the survivors around me for a small bucket, lit the magic power stove, and poured the ingredients into it. Han Soo-young asked, What are you going to make? An antidote. Did you decide to save him? I nodded and replied, This bastard. He came to me deliberately. Deliberately? Why? I don't know. Did he come to ask you for help? I don't think Yu Jong-uk would come all this way to kill you. That's impossible for Yu Jong-uk. How do you know? I know. He's that type of bastard. I adjusted the flames of the stove. Fire blazed and the contents in the bucket started to boil. Based on the color and form, it looked like the food from the Death Valley goblins. It might seem terrible, but the soup was an excellent antidote. Han Soo-young placed her hands on her knees and stared at the terrible food. By the way, was Yu Jong-uk such a bad person in ways of survival? What? It was a thought I had. Didn't Yu Jong-uk save a lot of people and do good deeds? Of course, he's like a psychopath, but isn't he moving for the people? He's fighting to save the world. I don't want to admit it because I'm a bad person. When I thought about it, Han Soo-young's words weren't completely wrong. I laughed and said, Your defense of Yu Jong is energetic because you haven't read as far as me. But that is that, and this is this. You can't judge people by only looking at one side. It was an unexpected conversation, so I looked up at Han Soo-young for a while. Han Soo-young was smiling coldly. No matter how much you claim my work is plagiarism, it has actually never been affected by ways of survival. You almost convinced me without saying that. It's a real pity. I said this, but my mind was a bit complicated. What type of person was Yu Jong-uk? Could I say I was familiar with the existence of Yu Jong-uk? I was able to confidently answer until a while ago. I was the only reader who read all the ways to survival. But I felt some of my answers were being diluted in the soup. Did I know Yu Jong-uk at all? Not long after that, the soup started boiling. The constellation Demon-like Judge of Fire is impressed with your good deed. The constellations of the Absolute Good System support your good deed. 3,000 coins have been sponsored. It was rare for a person to be damaged by sponsorship. Shit. I approached Yu Jong-uk with the soup. Han Soo-young brought me a spoon from a nearby store. I scooped up the soup with a spoon and put it in Yu Jong-uk's mouth. Han Soo-young watched me blowing on the soup. You're acting like a wife. Do you want to do this? I don't want to. In fact, I wouldn't have given the job to her anyway. It was due to the system message that I heard every time I scooped up a spoonful of soup. Constellation Demon-like Judge of Fire is impressed with your good deed. 500 coins have been sponsored. It was tremendous to receive coins every time I fed him. The constellation Demon-like Judge of Fire is impressed with your good deed. 300 coins have been sponsored. I thought it would be a loss to me, but it turned out to be a huge honey event. Indeed, people should live a good life. However, I started to feel a bit strange after 10 spoonfuls. The constellation Demon-like Judge of Fire is impressed with your good deed. 400 coins have been sponsored. Was this constellation really impressed with the good deed? Would it last until the bowl was empty? Yu Jong started to open his eyes with a slight groan. He was still in bad shape, but he was gradually healing from the poison. I didn't miss this opportunity and took out an item. You have used the midday tryst. You are seeking consent from the target. Midday tryst was an item that allowed for a one-on-one conversation with a selected target for a specified time period. If I had a bit more coins, I would have learned the sound transmission skill, but I didn't have that much to spare. Therefore, I chose the next best thing. The target has agreed to communicate with you. The midday tryst has started. Once I sent a message to Yu Jong-uk, a small messenger window appeared in front of me. Hey, can you hear me? The connection was formed. I purchased this item for 3 reasons. One was because Yu Jong-uk's tongue was paralyzed by the effect of the 1,000 spirits poison, and the second reason was to avoid leaking information to Han Soo-young. The third and most important reason was I didn't want to confirm to Yu Jung that I could read his thoughts. The next moment, Yu Jung's message came up. Kim Duksha, move to the east right now.